Alright, so it's Kyra's turn. She will not be moving, she will be utilizing the apothecary skill there. I think this is actually a little bit too defensive now that I think of it, because we haven't really gone through the blessings deck at all, and she does have the holy candle, and we can so that means that we can reshuffle back some of these blessings, giving us extra turns. So I think it's a little bit too safe. Let me just take a look at her hand here, if she has any action going on. And she does. She does have her mace, she has some divine spells. So I think this is fine. I think instead of being so defensive, let's just go on the offensive and move her to the village house here. Because like I talked about previously, I think Valeris will be going to the city gate here. The village house, let's take a look at the location. Let's take a look at the deck list here. This is not a dangerous location. It only has one monster and then one henchman and maybe the villain. So it's not that dangerous here at all. It does have this barrier, but I think it's fine anyway. Has some random stuff. It does have plenty of allies. So hopefully we can get to some of these allies. At this location, when attempting a check to acquire an ally, you may instead recharge a card to automatically acquire the ally. So that's great if we find something that we really want. Closing, banish a card like I talked about previously. So this is fine. This is a fine location for Kyra. She will not be healing or doing anything like that. So instead she will just use her free exploration here to check the top card. And that is an ally. Shalelu Andusana. I don't know. I'm having difficulty pronouncing some of these elven names. Never trust an elf. Elf Scout. Recharge this card to add 1d4 to ranged combat checks. Well, that's not super relevant. Reveal this card on your turn to examine the top card of your location deck, then recharge the card, or discard it to encounter the revealed card. Now that's a little bit more interesting. Check to acquire Wisdom or Perception 6 or Charisma Diplomacy 7. Alright. This is a little bit higher up on the ally scale, I think. This is not just a basic ally, but I don't have any ranged characters, so it's not a great ally either. She does have, well, she actually doesn't have diplomacy. I thought she had diplomacy, but no. I could roll my charisma, which is a d12, or alternatively I could use the special ability of the location here and actually recharge one card from my hand to automatically gain that ally. Might be a good idea. Yeah, let's do it. Let's recharge this guard here to acquire the ally. And now I see that we don't have that many cards left in our deck, so I have to be a little bit more careful with Kyra here. But we are back up to 4 cards, so that's fine. And I will use this second ability immediately. Reveal this card to examine the top card, then recharge, or I can discard to encounter if it's something useful. So let's do that. First reveal. See, that is a Night Watch. Alright. The check to acquire is Wisdom or Perception 7 or Charisma Diplomacy 6. The good thing about this is that I can discard to explore, but I think I'll wait. With this. So I will just recharge this elf here instead of discarding it, and then Kyra will end her turn with 3 cards in hand, and I will just redraw up to 5 here, playing a little bit more defensively this this time, getting an aid spell, which is great, which makes me able to shuffle back cards from discard piles at instant speed, so to speak, and a wooden shield, which is not that great, but that's fine. So she ends her turn here, and then we move on to Valeris. It's a blessing of Calistria, and Valeris will be going to the city gate here. He has these cards in hand, not that great of a hand, but fine. Let's take a look at the city gate location so that we are a little bit more familiar with it, since I tend to get these rules. It's a little bit more dangerous, 2 monsters, 1 barrier, so yeah, some chance of getting to face some monsters or barriers. We have 2 weapons, 2 items, 2 allies here, so that's good. At this location, if you fail a combat check, shuffle a random monster from the box into the location deck. This is quite bad, so I will do anything to try to avoid this, which means I will have to be a little bit more defensive, even more defensive than I am right now. I do realize that I play quite defensively, so you will have to forgive me if you are more of a reckless type of player. I am not really that reckless. I like to take it slow. I like to build slow, steady parties instead, so this is the way I play. When closing, summon and defeat a bandit henchman. They are not that difficult, so that's fine. So yeah, not that much. Basically the only bad part here is if we fail to defeat a monster, we have to shuffle in some random monsters here. So Valeris will use his free exploration and he will explore. That's a shock longbow +1. Yet again a ranged or dexterity based weapon, which we don't really need here. It's a bow, ranged, piercing, 2-handed magic. Powers. For your combat check, reveal this card to roll your dexterity or ranged die +1d8 with a +1 modifier. You may additionally discard this card to add to your unmodified strength die. Add your unmodified strength die with the electricity trait. If you aren't proficient with weapons, the difficulty of this check is increased by 4. He is actually this bow is not that bad for him. Dexterity, that's a d8 plus another d8 with a +1 modifier, and in addition we can discard to add a d10 to this. So this is a pretty powerful weapon now that I think of it. Yeah. If you are proficient with weapons, you may discard this card to add 1d4 with the electricity trait to a combat check at another location. Yeah. I was seeing this bow, I was thinking this is not that good, but now I actually think this is a pretty good weapon. Check to acquire dexterity or ranged 11. I think this is really powerful. That's actually a d10, a d8 and another d8 with a +1 modifier if we were to use and discard or reveal and discard this weapon. Since he is proficient with weapons, that's fairly good amount of dice. Alright. Unfortunately he doesn't have any. Well, he has this codex. Yeah. Alright, so the dexterity, his dexterity die, let's do this in turn order. His dexterity die is a d8, so we have that. Then we can discard this codex to add add 1 die to your check to acquire a boon. So that means we get to add another d8 here. It's 2 d8s and we need 11. I don't think that's good enough. I think we need more. We need something else. Let's see. 1 blessing Kyra. And I think 1 blessing Seoni as well. Yeah, this is only for your check to acquire a boon, so she cannot do this for him as well. So yeah, I think actually Kyra will give up her blessing to add another d8. And unfortunately I think I don't have any other D8s lying around here. I can't be bothered finding one. So I think I'm just gonna re-roll one of these if I fail. So I need 11, combined roll of 11, and I have 3 dice. I've discarded the blessing here as well, so I should have 3, but I only have 2 at hand right now. I'm gonna have to find some other dice somewhere. I don't know where I keep all my dice, they are all over the place. But yeah, 3 of these for 11. And that's 6 and 3, so that's 9, and then I have a third one, so I will re-roll one of these. So we keep in mind that I have 9, so I need a 2. Only a roll of 1 fails here. Ah, that's a 2. That's pretty lucky. So just barely managed to squeeze this one out here. So yeah, managed to acquire this, so that's good. And unfortunately nothing else in hand at the moment, so I will just discard before resetting my hands. He still has quite a lot of cards here, so I will discard these 2 and then reset my hand, drawing up to my hand limit, getting a blessing and the spyglass. That's fine. Alright, so Valeris ends his turn. It is now Seoni's turn. Flip over another blessing here. Well, I should have checked these. Actually, I should have checked these blessings, especially these named ones. They do add something. For instance, here, discard this card to add 2 dice to a non-combat dexterity check, which would have been useful. For the last check, and I was pretty dumb and didn't check this, since I did discard a blessing. So that was a clear misplay. I could have just discarded this blessing to get just as many dice as I had without having to discard the codex. But I think at the end of the turn I would actually discard the codex anyway, so this is not that bad, but it's still a misplay. This is a blessing of a blessing of Gorham, and this adds to strength-based combat checks. So I have to keep this in mind, especially, well, actually for Seoni this doesn't matter unless there's some special event or special barrier card that she encounters. Alright, so Seoni. Let's look at the hand here. Blessing, 2 allies, acid arrow, and also a codex and an amulet. She will not move, so she just uses her free exploration here, and that's the henchman, the poison trap. We already took a look at this guy. Check to defeat, dexterity, or disable 5. Let's just see if we have anything to add here for this particular check. Survival check. Here we have non-combat dexterity or charisma check for the troubadour. So that's good. Alright. Well, actually this is a combat check. Yeah, this is check defeat. This is a combat check. It has to be a combat check, I think. Yeah. So troubadour does not apply, unfortunately. Yeah. Dexterity. Her dexterity die is a D8. Yep, it's a D8. So without adding anything, we have this D8. She doesn't have any modifiers for this, so this is not good enough, I think. Yeah, so she will use her blessing here. Add another D8 to the roll. Let's hope that this is enough. We need 5. That's good enough. It's a 5 and an 8. That's 13. Just good enough. Well, actually, I'm a little bit unsure here. Is this a combat? This can't be a combat. You cannot fight a trap. Well, you could if you're a moron. if you're me, which I probably... Well, I treated it like it wasn't combat, but then I could have used my troubadour. That's what I'm thinking. Well, what done is done. I've already rolled dice, so I cannot do anything about that. But now that I think of it, this can't be combat. You cannot fight a trap. You roll for your skill to, you know, overcome this trap. Yeah. Well, what done is done. I discarded my blessing, so either... Yeah, basically what this means is if this is a combat check, I have to use this acid arrow, but that's just... That doesn't... Well, it does work, since this is not poison, this is acid. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would you shoot an acid arrow at a trap? I think this is just a check. This has to be a check. Yeah. It feels like I'm overcomplicating this. I think this was done correctly. I should have just used the troubadour instead of the blessing, is what I mean. So we do defeat this guy or this trap. If defeated, you may immediately attempt to close this location. And I think I will be doing this, even though there is a spell left and some items and one ally. I think yeah, there isn't much that I want from the base set, so this is fine. Let's just do this. Let's attempt to close it, so we have to check for the villain. Let's see if the villain is in here. Detect evil. Oh man, that might have been cool to have. Zombie giant on the other hand, that was not cool. Sage, non-combat intelligence or wisdom check, so that's a pretty good one. Token of remembrance, bury this card to recharge your spell. Well, that's not that great. The traitor, not that difficult. Blessing of Irori. Would have been nice to have these cards, but I think the zombie giant and the traitor, yeah, I mean I think only the sage. I only wanted the sage from this, so one card out of 6 is not that bad. So yeah, there is no villain here, so we can attempt to close this. What I should have done is checked what the closing condition is, because if you do not meet the closing condition or requirements, you cannot attempt this. But this is just banish a card from your hand, so that's not too bad. And then when permanently closing, each character at this location must immediately choose a card and recharge it, and then I may draw a card. So that's fine. This is our hand. We now have to banish something from here, and I think it's going to be the codex. I just banished the codex, so that goes back to the box. Then we have to recharge one card, and I will recharge the guide, I think. Yeah, let's recharge the guide. The guide recharges. And I may draw a card if I want to. Sure, why not? I'm gonna have to draw a card anyway. So I draw a card, which is Detect Magic again. Well, I should have known that probably, because I recharged these earlier. So this is now closed, permanently closed. Let's see. The back, there is no additional abilities when it's permanently closed, but we have some thematic flavor text here. All the sound and life of the communities once comes together at this well-trodden square at heart of town. People of all walks enjoy themselves here as they go about their daily business, whether it be shopping for goods, hawking their wares, or meeting with friends. But even here there are those who lurk in the shadows, eyeing marks for more nefarious purposes. Alright, cool. The town square, the place to be, it is now permanently closed as well. Great, we only have 2 locations left here. Seoni finishes her turn. She will not discard anything, so she has to draw up to her hand limit, which is 6. And there we go. Force Missile and a Blessing. She has 4 cards left, I think, in her deck here, so we have to be a little bit more careful from now on. But there is a great opportunity here to find the villain as soon as possible and probably be able to finish this playthrough. So let's move on. It's Kyra's turn. Let's see. Still has some cards left here. Well, Aid, I kind of talked a little bit about Aid before. This is not to reshuffle cards. This is to add a d6 to a check. So I think I talked a little bit about it before and mentioned that it could shuffle cards, but it cannot actually do that. What I am going to do, since I am starting to feel a little bit anxious here because I have so few cards left. I am going to use her special ability here. Let's just remind ourselves of what it is. Instead of your first exploration on a turn, you may reveal a card with a divine trait to choose a character at your location. Shuffle 1d4 plus 1 random cards from the discard pile into his deck, then discard the card you revealed. So what she's going to do is she's going to reveal Sanctuary, and then we get to roll 1d4, and that is here. So let's see, 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3. I have to randomize this, and you discard the revealed card afterward. So let's see. This is somewhat random, I think. Alright, so here we go. 1, 2, 3 cards. And then we have to shuffle these into the deck here. Alright, here we go. Now, we cannot recharge the Sanctuary card, even though it's a divine card, because we didn't use anything on this card. We used her special ability to just reveal this and discard it. So you have to use something on the card to be able to recharge the card. So this is now discarded. You don't even get a chance at recharging it. Alright, so that was for her first free exploration, and I will actually not do anything else with her because I can't, and I will not be discarded. Well, I could do this, but this can be done anyway, or at any time. I will not be discarding anything either, so I will just draw up to 5 cards here. It's a guard and a blessing, so that's good. That's what I was looking for, another blessing. So we move on. It's now Valeris with the turn counter here. We are about halfway there, so I think this is a really easy scenario. I shouldn't say no chance of losing it, but I don't think there is a chance of losing this. So let's move on here. This is Valeris' hand. He has this spyglass. Discard this card to examine the top 2 cards of your location. I can put them back in an order. So he will not move. He stays at the city gate. He will discard this to check these top 2 cards. Hopefully we can find the villain, because if we do find the villain, we have won, basically, because you just banish a card to seal that location there where Kyra is at, so then Valeris can defeat the villain and he has nowhere to run. So let's see, take a look at the top 2 cards. These are an ally and an item. Holy Water, Liquid Magic Divine Basic. Discard to evade the Bane with the Undead trait. Discard to defeat the Bane with the Undead trait whose highest combat value is 10 or lower. Recharge Wisdom or Divine 12 check to recharge this card. This isn't that bad for Kyra, actually. So yeah. Banish this card to examine your location deck and then shuffle it. Mayor Kendra Deverin. Yeah, not that good. Charisma, Diplomacy to check, to acquire, and Wisdom and Divine here. Okay, I get to put this back in any order. I think, yeah, let's do it like this. So Mayor at the top, and then Holy Water underneath, because I think I will wait for Kyra to get over here to try to get this with her Divine trait. So we put this here, and then for his free exploration, which we haven't done yet, he will reveal Mayor Kendra Deverin here and attempt to acquire her, even though she's not that great. I mean, it's fine. I could actually examine, if I move with him to the village house, I could examine the village house location to see if the villain is there. If the villain is not there, we will just leave a character there, and then the other two characters will go for the city gate. I don't want to shuffle the city gate location deck because I want that holy water. So yeah, this is Diplomacy or Charisma. His Diplomacy is the Charisma die is a d6, and then Diplomacy adds +2 modifier, and we would have to add something to be able to complete this, because this is a check of 10. I do think that this is a pretty powerful, yeah, I think this is a pretty powerful effect, allowing us to not go through the entire both decks and faster finish the scenario. So I think he will be, let's see, yeah, he uses one of his blessings to add another d6 here. So he has 1 d6 from the basic check, which has a +2 modifier, and then he adds another d6, and this we will have to get 4 or higher, or 8 or higher to be successful here. So that's 50-50 roughly chance. But in addition, I think let's see, she has quite a lot of blessings here. Yeah, I think Kyra uses her blessing in hand. Let's just double check. So she has a divine card. Yeah, she has this. Well, she has this aid. She could add a d6. Let's do that. She casts this aid to add a d6 to his check here. So now he gets he has 3 d6s to roll. So let's see, we need 8. Combined roll of 8. Ah, that's good enough. That's 14, so that's fine. He gets Mayor Kendra Deverin. Kyra now gets to attempt to recharge this. It's Divine 8 check, and that's a d12 +2. So let's see. 3 +2, 5. Not good enough. She discards aid. Alright. This is Valeris' hand now, and he can't do anything else, so we will just draw up to our hand size. It's a standard bearer, non-combat strength or constitution check, and I can explore the location if I discard it. Alright, moving on. Next turn. Moving kind of fast here. Seoni. Seoni will move since she was at a closed location, so she moves to Kyra's location here. She will not give, well, she could give this to Kyra actually. Yeah, let's do that. She gives this Detect Magic to Kyra. Well, no, wait. It's give, then move. Or can you do this anyway? Yeah, I think it's give, then move, so you cannot do this. I think you have to start at the same location. That makes sort of sense, because if you move to a location, you have to find the character, but if you start at a location, it's sort of assumed that you have already found each other. So I think that's how it's supposed to be. That's how the back of the rule book is anyway. It doesn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, but it says advance the blessings deck, give a card, then move, then explore. Well, not then, but that's the order they are ordered in. So I think that's the way you should be playing this, so she cannot give anything. So instead, she will use her free exploration to explore here, and that is an ally, Night Watch. Well, I did forget the +2 modifier from the scenario for my ally attempt here, and once again I think I used one too many cards. Kyra shouldn't have used her aid card to assist. I think that would have been fine. I had a +4 modifier with 2 d6s, that's just enough, I think. So yeah, moving on from that, this is just a basic ally. Check to acquire Wisdom Perception 7 or Charisma Diplomacy 6. She does have Diplomacy, so that's d12 +2. And we get an additional +2 modifier from the scenario, so that's d12 +4. We need 6 here for diplomacy. That should be fine. It's a 3, just good enough. So she acquires this card. And then, yeah, let's go for it. She discards the Night Watch here. Well, we could use this Detect Magic, but I kind of want... Well, Kyra will move away next turn anyway. So, yeah, she will use this Detect Magic to check the top card of the location deck. There are no spells here, so probably no cards with magic traits, but I just want to check to see what the card here is. Well, maybe that's just stupid. If there are no magic spells, this is just a wasted card in that case. Yeah, let's save it. So she discards Night Watch instead to explore again. That's Sage. Alright. Human Sage Basic. Add 1d6 to non-combat intelligence or wisdom checks, or discard to explore location. Check to acquire Wisdom 7 or Charisma Diplomacy 6, so once again the same applies here. d12 +4 modifier, 2 from my own skill and 2 from the scenario. So we need 2 or higher. That's a 7, so that's fine. Again, we take the ally and immediately use the ally to explore again. That's a great axe. Damn. I think that's a pretty good one. Yeah. For your combat check, reveal this card to roll strength or melee die +1 d12. You may additionally discard this card to add your unmodified strength die. Well, you can't see because it's not focusing. If you are proficient with weapons, the difficulty of this check is increased by 4. This is a great card for Valeris. So I think I want this. I want to be successful here. Check to acquire strength or melee. Oh man, strength or melee 10. Oh, that's kind of bad. Let's see. Since her strength is a d4, all these blessings do is add. Well, actually, let's take a look at the top of the blessings card. Oh, the blessings discard pile here. Yeah. Alright, good. Blessing of Torah. I managed to catch this. Discard this card to add 2 dice to non-combat strength check. So we can copy this blessing and add additional d4s with each blessing card. So she will... Let's see, she has 1, and I think Kyra has 1 as well. So... non-combat dexterity, nothing there. So I think I really want that great axe for Valeris. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's better to save these blessings if I were to encounter the villain. And this is kind of dangerous. I mean, I could roll 4 d4s. No, actually 5 d4s, and that should be enough. Like that shouldn't be a problem to get 10 with 5 d4s. But then that would mean that I have to discard all of my blessings that I have in hand. And is that really worth it? I think it isn't. No, it's not. So let's be a little bit more strategic here and just say goodbye to this great axe. Unfortunately, I would have wanted to have this, but yeah, let's just go ahead and banish this. Banish this to the box. Alright, so she will not do anything else here, I don't think. She will just end her turn, having 6 cards in hand, and we move on. Alright, so it's a Blessing of the Gods on top there, and we have Kyra for her turn. She will not give a card here, I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't have anything to give, so she just moves here and uses her free exploration to have a go at this Holy Water. I already talked about this card. Check to acquire Wisdom or Divine 8. Her Divine is a D12 plus 2. Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's gamble here. 50-50 chance. We need a roll of 6. 2. Not good enough. Damn it. Let's see, this is an item. Alright, so we banish that as well. She ends her turn, adds 1 card to her hand. This is the elf. So I can examine the top card of my location deck. Alright. Well, I'm moving a little bit fast now, but I think that's fine. There isn't really much that I want here. I think I've already gone through the best items and such, and like I already talked about this several times, there's not that much good stuff in the base game, so you kind of want to get through these scenarios, kind of improve a little bit, and then you want to get to the next adventure. The Great Axe would have been great. The Holy Water would have been okay, I guess. Not super great, but okay. Moving on, it is Valeris' turn. It's a Blessing of Callistria. That's dexterity, we have to remember that if that comes into play. He will move here, I think. Yeah, because I wanted to use... Well, actually I could use that over here as well. This is his hand. I want to use the Mayor Kendra Deverin to examine the location deck and then shuffle it. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Let's check how many cards we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not that it matters really, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 or 8. Yeah, he just stays here. Let's do it like this. He begins his turn there. He doesn't give any cards to Kyra. And then he banishes Mayor Kendra Deverin to take a look at the deck here. So here we go. Let's see if the villain is here. We have a Goblin Commando monster, the longbow, and the villain is here. Great. A poison trap, trapped locker, 1 random armor from the box. Alright. Potion of ghostly form, not that good. Mercenary, not that difficult. And a soldier. But this is what I was looking for, the villain. So let's shuffle here. It's a little bit difficult to shuffle in these sleeves when you have this few cards left. So, here we go. Something like that. So, we now know that the villain is there. So Seoni could hold the fort down here for this turn, and then when Kyra's turn, when we get to Kyra's turn, she will move back there actually, and Seoni will move here with Valeris, because I think those two have a greater chance of defeating the villain than Kyra has. Well, actually that's not true, is it? Kyra has just as good a chance as these two, because the villain is not that difficult. But Valeris uses his free exploration, so let's see what we find here. It's the longbow, bow range piercing two-handed. It's just a little bit worse version of the shock longbow that we got earlier. Check to acquire dexterity or ranged 5. I don't think I will be using anything to try this, so that's just a D8. So let's see. That's a 3, not good enough. This gets banished. I'm moving a little bit fast here, and I have to stop the video just to split it, but I'll be back shortly.